Welcome to the Comics Corner podcast with B-Lar and Danny P.
Hey, everybody.
Issue 57 is brought to you by the CLZ app and part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. Please check out spdmcrew.com or the SPDM Crew YouTube channel for all your podcast needs. This week, we travel into the Twilight Zone, discuss what we're enjoying, what we're looking forward to, and new ones hitting the shelves September 24th. Danny, how's everything going?
Good, man. I've been struggling a little bit lately. I feel like wrong, but I stopped going on Facebook or Instagram. I needed a break. Way too much us and them nonsense that has nothing to do with me because I've never fit into a group. And so yeah. Do you feel? I'm springing you on this now. We didn't talk about this before. Does the world seem angrier, or is it just me?
Oh, it does. It does. And it's, I I know personally my thoughts lean to the right considered it, but I accept both. I'm not one of these crazy ones that are like, oh, you're wrong because you're the blah, blah. Everyone has their own opinion and I'm okay with it. I mean, I might disagree with it, but it doesn't cause me anything because I don't care and I don't research enough of this stuff to care. So I want it. I want people to like each other's more than anything, and I wish it would happen.
Yeah. It's only been like September's always a weird month for me. That's my dad and I, our whole life was the Lions and all that stuff. So I always think in September of those things and how I don't hang out with his buddies and all the tailgating. How that's what's the beauty is I got to experience those things, right? But now life's pretty mundane on a Lions game day. But things like that, and I just people seem they're shouting about the parking lot at the store. They're shouting about that Red Hood comic book. Just I get the anger of the Tigers, but again, it's entertainment. So I hope everybody takes a deep breath. It's all I think of the mess of my life the last 7 years, and I'm just grateful to even be here and have a chance to get another tomorrow. And that's about it for me. So I hope that's not any soapbox stuff. It just I don't know, man. People seem to be hurting, and I always hope that I'm helping, and I hope that you and I do that with this, at least help clear people's minds and realize we're far more alike than unalike, man.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it was a rough week. Monday, mentor and a woman who I truly looked up to and admire. Her funeral was Monday. She was my boss at Council on Aging. She brought me, promoted me to the position I'm in now. She was there for I think 31 years, and she was the executive director for 25. Her name was Laura Newsom, and just went to the doctor, went to the hospital, found out she had leukemia, and then 2 days later passed away. So, it's obviously, it makes you think and, tell people you love them, man. That's because, you know, it, I feel a lot of guilt because I kept telling her I was going to stop by and talk to her and see her, and I didn't make it. And then I found out she was sick and had to go out of town to work. And by the time I got home, she had passed away. So, um, but she knew I loved her, and she's now in peace. So
Right? And not to be a downer in this episode at all, but it's those things you got to embrace and grab onto. And I think the last conversation I had with Dad, he only had a couple hours, and I always found it funny. Our 41 years together, the man never asked my opinion, and then the last thing he said to me, "What do you think?" And we just kind of talked about random things, and he just taught me, and taught me my whole life, and told me that even though he made fun of my kindness and my burnout, uh, Mister Rogers bit, he would say that's the way I should keep going, and I try to do that, and I feel the Mister Rogers bit actually like makes people mad, and so that's what I'm a little throw off right now, but we'll get there. It's all
yeah,
good. But one of the things I was thinking about with Pops is that he always taught me everything more through television and a lot of Andy Griffith and a lot of Twilight Zone. So there's a Twilight Zone comic book coming out this week, and I didn't know if you're as big a fan as I was. That's he had every version of the box set, and once Nick and Knight was on, we never turned the TV off. He was always he wanted me to be him. So we watched a lot of Andy Griffith and a lot of Twilight Zone. And I said, so what's your favorite? So did you watch Twilight Zone when you're
I
younger?
did. I did. I watched the reruns and I wasn't diehard into it, but I did enjoy it. I didn't watch. I know Jordan Peele did a reboot of it, and they had like I think they had like 4 or 5 seasons of that. I on Sci-Fi or something, but I didn't get into those. The Rod Sterling original ones are the ones that I watched, and I have to say my absolute favorite is the William Shatner episode. It's I Flight at 3,000 feet or something like that's the title of it. And I kind of looked it up real quick before we came on because we said we were going to do this, and I didn't realize it was directed by Richard Donner, who directed Superman and Superman 2. And just I know that's almost like a cop out because historically when everyone talks about Twilight Zone, they go to the William Shatner Gremlin episode, and even the Twilight Zone movie they reboot. They had a John Lithgow. They redid it, and
Well,
John
yeah, and
Lithgow
whatever,
played it.
yeah, whatever version, either the one you were talking about with Peel or the version they did before that. Adam Scott also did a version
Oh,
of
okay,
that. So yeah, they always go back to that story.
yeah. So that would be my favorite. How about you?
For me, it was kind of two, and it's almost what we're talking about. One's called Time Enough at Last with Burgess Meredith, Penguin. We're keeping the connection to comic books here, and he ends up being in a bank during a nuclear fallout, and when he gets out, he's the only one alive, and he's had this very rough life, always getting bullied and everything, and he realizes, you know what, I can finally read. And huge spoiler here, but at the very end, as he's getting ready to read his first book and taking a deep breath and thinking how everything is wonderful, he drops his glasses and they break. And since there was this nuclear fallout, he probably won't get to read again. And the other one was Monsters Do at Maple Street, and it's this episode of the power going out and all these different neighbors, their powers going on and off, and they end up fighting each other and getting a big argument. And by the end, someone gets shot, and it pulls back, and it's Martians on a UFO explaining how if they just keep on doing that, making us fight against each other, uh, that they can kind of do whatever they want, and I feel that's kind of where we're at, It just so it's I love sci-fi, Asimov and Bradbury and all that. So there's always little hints of truth and some philosophy in there, and that's I always loved all that stuff. So it's those would definitely be my two. If you get a chance, really watch any Twilight Zone. I think that stuff was there, so we get to the fantastic shows of Black Mirror and some of the incredible comic books and things we're at today. So if you have not seen Twilight Zone, I highly recommend it. And also
Yeah,
buy the comic book by Dynamite this week. Actually, I take that back. IDW.
and I do give a little plug for Paramount Plus if they want to send us residuals, that'd be great. But it is streaming.
I just want free channel. That's free membership. That's
Yeah, it is streaming on Paramount Plus, so
it.
you guys can enjoy that. What have you been enjoy reading this week, Dan?
This week I jumped into Amazing Spider-Man. Kind of like I wasn't really into it, and all of a sudden, last couple issues, I really enjoy it. And this one, they have kind of the Spider family go take on whoever this cat, who we know it's Osborn, but taking on this other Spider-Man, and he shows who he is, and things shouldn't go from there. Still dealing with this Hellgate situation and where Peter Parker is drifted off to, but that was really cool. Flo from Mad Cave. You laughed when I showed you the cover on that one. I was thinking it was because they've done it before. A young lady has her period or whatever and gets superpowers. But this story was very much. It wasn't Yellow Jackets has a whole other vibe to it with the TV show, but it had this idea that they tortured this girl, and it's coming back to haunt them, and they're trying to figure out why. So that was definitely kind of a horror mystery thing I thought was really cool. No Man's Land from Image, the same team that did Something Epic, did this one, and it's about it kind of has it may end up having a kind of Department of Truth thing to it. It's a FBI agent who wants to retire. He puts in his letter. They tell him no, and he goes off to somewhere and finds out. As always, there's more to the story, and he's going to find out why. And the last one was Star Wars Boba Fett Black, White, and Red. I really enjoyed this one because I enjoy all the black, white, and red, but they kind of do like short stories, and this was just all one story. So I thought it was great to see the adventures of Boba Fett and the colors. It's cool seeing the different type of art that they do. I know that's going to be a couple issues, so far so good. And that was what I grabbed. What'd you check out?
I haven't read it yet, but I did pick up the Boba Fett, and I'm looking forward to it. Benjamin Percy is writing it, and I mean, I enjoy what he does. So, Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that Boba Fett. Absolute Flash number 7. You know, Wally and Grog are still on the run, and Wally goes to so he's realizing after running so much that he needs to refuel and get some food, but he doesn't have any money. So he stops in this store and he like asks the guy, "Can I eat? Get some food?" And the guy's like, "No money, can't eat." So he speeds up to try and steal some food and passes out and goes to jail. The rogues, they're following him. They end up finding him. But while he was passed out, Grodd disappeared, and there's a big storm, and we've got Weather Wizard now showing up, who I'm assuming is Weather Wizard, but it was a villain who was manipulating the weather, going out on a
Would
limb
make
there.
sense.
So, but Wally and Grodd take him out, and then the rogues, they decide they don't want to go back to Fort Fox, and they're going to become rogues, and they ask Wally if he wants to join them. Justice League Red number 2, the last issue, you know, Red Tornado sent Power Girl and Green Lantern on a mission, and he said it was to stop this evil machine, and they found out it was a machine that like created food for people. So it didn't make any sense, and kind of it's it's going along with the, you know, I call it doomsday algorithm, where it's a machine, you know, that thinks it sees the future, and so he was like, no, see, that machine's going to lead to this machine that's going to lead to another thing that's going to lead to this planet attacking this planet. So it was like, okay, by doing this it stops 10 other steps. You know, not always the biggest fan of that storyline, but okay, let's see where it's going to go. He had Cyborg steal a chip, some technology, so told him it was stolen technology. He had to get it back. It ends up it wasn't. It was actually created by that company. So now Cyborg's pissed off too. They're like, okay, we're going to tell the Justice League. He's like, no. If you do, the new Red Canary is going to die, and somebody's got her. So they go to fight Red Canary, and Power Girl stays to watch Red Tornado and tells them, you know, hey, I'm going to tell the Justice League as soon as we save Red Canary. So we'll see if they save Red Canary. Deadpool Batman. I mean, sure, most of you guys read this. A bunch of short stories in there. Well, not all short, but the Batman Deadpool one. I enjoyed it. They didn't really explain how Deadpool's in this DC universe, or are they one universe? I don't know what they've done in the past with DC. I know they did the Amalgam universe before, but in the time that I was away from comics, I don't know if they created one universe or they go back to it when they do a crossovers. But uh, story was okay, enjoyable. Artwork, fantastic. Capullo, awesome. The Crypto and Jeff story was a good flip through. Um, Green Arrow, Daredevil, Kevin Smith was fantastic, and the Wonder Woman, Captain America story was really good. It was a kind of heartfelt story on two people that are, you know, role models for the world, and their interaction with each other and how they inspired each other. Really enjoyed it, and we got to meet Logo, the amalgamation of Lobo and Logan. And I'm sure that his adventure will continue in the DC Marvel version of this team up.
Did
And
that, so I didn't get a chance to read it. You know, that's I'm amazed. We ordered so much, man. I mean, more than any other book we ordered in the last probably year, and still managed to sell out. So that's a great thing. But another one of those things. Regardless, if you go to Walmart, just for humanity, okay? This is just a tip. If they don't have the mayonnaise, you go to Bell Tire. They don't have something, some kind of tool you need or something. A tire, that is. Don't yell at the worker, because like that's not going to make them go in the back and be like, here you go, because they want to sell it to you, because most people just want to live their existence. So uh, if you go to, there's so many great comic book stores in the area. Right down the street, I got Cosmic Comics and Liberty Comics. If I don't have it, please go there. But be polite, and trust me, they want to sell it to you. There's no secret room in the back. If there was, I'd have a grill of all gold teeth. So just please remember, people are trying to do their best. Most comic book stores you're working in, someone's living a dream, something they always wanted to do. So just again, just a friendly reminder. But I had some questions about that. So did they throw anything back to the original from the 90s? Because in that they had a guy who could go between both worlds. Like, they bring any of that up, or any of the old Spider Boy or Amalgam characters they had before?
not that I know of. And I remember there was that guy who, like, he had, it was not a vest, but it was a puffed up coat, and he could
I
bounce
was going to
back and
say
forth.
vest. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I forgot about that until you just said that. No, it was just a story, and there was the characters were in it. They didn't explain really anything in any of the stories. It's just all of a sudden, Green Arrow was fighting the League of Shadows Assassins, and Daredevil was fighting the Foot, and Crypto and Jeff the Land Shark were playing. Crypto hit a ball and it went to Jeff, and they ended up meeting up and play. So no, they didn't really explain anything. And really, the only amalgam character I think that came out of it was this logo. They everybody else was individual stories.
Okay,
Um,
and then did it seem like for when we get I believe it's November when we get the DC version, did it seem like these stories would probably continue, or are we going to get and we might have had already synopses of what's coming up, so I apologize, but like they're going to continue those stories, or you think we're going to get a whole new team
I think we're
of
gonna
characters together?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get all new
Okay.
stories because one of the covers I saw was Nightwing and Laura
Oh,
Wolverine.
beauty. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So I think we're gonna have, and although all the covers that came out like Magic and Catwoman, there wasn't a Magic Catwoman story. But I think some of the stories that are going along with the covers, like Daredevil, Green Arrow cover. But yes, I believe I saw somewhere there's like an Old Man Logan and Batman story that's going to happen. So there's I think it's going to be completely different.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I was excited that that logo is going to get his own cover for a second printing in number one. So I know I'm big on that. So I'll be able to read it when we get those. So yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who did the artwork in it because he was really good. And I mean, basically, it's Lobo with the Wolverine hair,
Yeah,
and
I saw the
uh,
picture. Yeah.
and he mentioned something about going after like Super Soldier X, which I believe was the Steve Rogers Superman amalgam character. So it's mentioned. They just didn't show anybody else. So
Okay.
yeah. And then finally, the Invincible Universe Battle Beast #5. Battle Beast finally gets to the Juggernaut character that he's been looking for because this guy, Battle Beast, he's filled with rage and he doesn't want to be and he doesn't want to live, but he can't kill himself because it's not honorable. So he keeps trying to find the next big level threat that could kill him. And so they find Juggernaut, who took over a planet, and so far he looks like he might get his wish. So the battle isn't going too well, but so that's what I was reading. And Dan, what are you looking forward to?
There's a lot of cool stuff coming out this week. Kirkman and David Finch teamed together to do something called Skin Breaker from Image. Both of those guys separately have done incredible things, so I can't wait to see what they do. Uh, Twilight Zone, like I was saying, from Dan Waters for the IDW, has kind of created this horror line called IDW Dark. Excited to see where that goes. He does pretty good on Nightwing, so I can't wait to see what he does in Twilight Zone. We're already getting our Halloween special, so I get a little bit excited about that. Halloween is near, so we get Vampirilla, Halloween Horror. I always grab the one shots whenever they have stuff like that. And the last one, Viking Moon, another one from Image. This is Vikings and werewolves, and I mean, you got me at Vikings, so they can throw in werewolves. My goodness, you can't go wrong with that at all. So excited for those this week for sure. What about you? What caught your eye?
Definitely the big one that caught, and you mentioned it, the Viking Moon. Yeah, I mean Vikings versus werewolves. Come on, you know, and the Skinwalkers also. Like David Finch's artwork is just phenomenal. So, and Kirkman, I've been reading more and more of his stuff. So yeah, completely looking forward to that. Wonder Woman 25 double size issue, and we are introduced to the new character Matriarch, and she will change Diana's life. Like every new person comes in and changes people's lives, but
Forever. Yes, yes.
there is an awesome, I think it's like the C cover. It is Matriarch by herself. Kind of looks a little bit like Magic with, some of the black and a sword and stuff, but hopefully they do, Tom Taylor's been doing not Tom Taylor, Tom King, sorry. Tom King's been doing a great job with the writing of Wonder Woman. So, I see it continuing. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Sword of Flaws. Tim Seeley and Freddie Williams, they continue stories from Eternia. This time there's no turtles though. the They do uncover. There's an evil artifact that gets uncovered, and He-Man and Tila are searching for it. So we'll see where that goes. Superman number 30. Superman has finally found Booster Gold. They must return to the past to warn the Justice League about the Dark Side's Legion, but they stand in their way. And I believe this issue is going to directly tie into the DCKO, or at least to the next step in the All In saga. So
Do you think that KO does that KO look more to you like I don't know if this will even make sense, but like Crisis of the Infinite Earth, where it's gonna attach the whole universe, people are gonna be changed from it, or is this like a convergence thing where it's just kind of like it's over here and they're taking a break from the normal universe? It seems because of Dark Side and everything, or Dark Side, however you like to say, that it's going to be connected to the normal universe, but at the same time, some of the art makes it look kind of, I'm not sure. So
I think it could be more, in DC terms, put it more convergence style than Crisis on Infinite Earth. But I actually kind of got a Marvel way back when Contest of Champions type thing out of it, where Darkseid is basically making the heroes fight each other, kind so, and we have to get a champion out of those fights who will take on Darkseid.
okay, it's almost like a contest of champions from the '80s. All right,
Yeah, yeah,
very cool, very cool.
that's the way I, but then again, they did the little preview, few pages in last month's books, and one, the artwork looks good for it, but it shows Superman like bleeding and he's wrapping his hands up to go get into a fight. Kind of looked like Wildcat, where he wrapped his hands up, and
Yeah,
then but then it goes to like, remember when Bruce, Diane, and him were playing a board game. So I don't know where they're going with it, how they're pushing it, and I like to look ahead at some stuff and see what things are about, but I don't get too into it because I like to try to be surprised. And there's just
right. Yeah,
way too much damn information out there. That's
yeah.
it's too hard. Um, another thing I'm looking forward to that I just read about, Amazon's doing another Batman animated thing. And I don't know if you happen to see it. They did a Amazon movie. It was like Bat Kid, and it was Damien wearing a Batman costume. It was like a Halloween special last year, and
Oh wow, no, I didn't.
they're staying in that animation style, and they're doing another Batman story with that. So
Like till the next season, or like that stuff we had with Oswald and everything last season, or
no,
this can be different.
different. This is different.
Okay, okay.
It was like, so yeah, I think it was actually
Because I
Bat
enjoyed that.
Kid.
That was really cool. The
I
series that they had last year.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping they continue it. The Batman character, the voice, Amish something, he's really good. He's actually in Gen V right now, on that show on
Oh wow.
Amazon.
Okay.
So yeah, looking forward to it. We'll see where it goes, but we got some new ones hitting the shelves today. We got Amp Comics Dusk #1. As I said, Dark Horse Comics, He-Man, the Master of the Universe, Sword of Flaws. That's 4-issue miniseries. Dynamite Entertainment is a vampire Halloween horror one shot. IDW has Star Trek: The Last Starship. Street Sharks, which that was another toy back in the 80s and 90s.
I'm
Twilight.
waiting for them. I think of the things that I enjoyed, and they were weird toys because I've always been a weird kid. But like Boglins and Muscles and Army Ants. I was thinking there was like one more on My Pet Monster. Where are these at?
Yes.
If we're going all the way to Street Sharks, we got to really get obscure. So I hope more things follow.
Well, I think and I don't, it wasn't IDW, it was the other one, but the cows one, Mad Cows, whatever that was.
Mesa, yes,
The
that was
cows of
past me.
Mesa.
Yeah, that was I was a little bit older when that one came out. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. More of that obscure stuff.
Yep. And Twilight Zone #1's coming out. Image Comics, Skinbreaker, and Viking Moon. Mad Cave Studios has Phantom #1 going along with the Flash Gordon and Defenders of the Earth. Marvel Comics Battle World #1. We didn't even talk about that. They're doing Battle World again, so that should be interesting. And then Ultimate Hawkeye #1 to the Ultimate Universe. Titan Comics has Conan the Barbarian, Scourge of the Serpent #1 of 4. So those are the new books hitting the shelves. Danny, give us a positive message about that subscription club.
A couple things. Well, first off, we had Batman Day last week, and thank you for all the people that popped up with that. Again, I I didn't make a big deal about it because one of those weird energy things in here right now is that Red Hood comic book. So between Red Hood and the Gotham Sampler, there's some strange conversations we had from that. And again, I don't have any more Red Hood. A lot of people came in and bought it that Thursday before DC could say anything, and I did make some money on eBay. I sold one of both covers that I had left, but we don't have it anymore, and I'm not hiding it. So that was so we didn't make a big deal about that one. But this week we have local comic shop day coming up on. I don't know if it's. I believe it's the 27th. So where are we at with the date here? Today's the
That
23rd, so it
yeah,
would be
27th
Saturday.
would be
So
Saturday. Yeah.
yeah, Saturday we'll have a couple. They didn't do that much for it this year, but a couple different variant covers to go along with the books, and we'll have some sales going on in Fraser and Rochester Hills. Make sure you stop on by, but also to make sure you don't want to miss out on the next issue of what would be Batman Deadpool this time. Come join the club. It's a $20 one time fee. You get 25% off whatever you put yourself on, 10% off everything else. If we don't see you after 5 weeks, we'll say we miss you. If we don't hear after that, we close you out. But some people have been with us the whole 43 years. So, and thank you for all those fantastic people. I keep it going every day.
Well, that's going to wrap up another issue of the Comics Corner podcast with B-Lar and Danny P. We are brought to you by the CLZ app and part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. You can check us out on spdmcrew.com and SPDM Crew YouTube channel. Please follow us on our social media at Comics Corner Podcasts on Facebook and Comics Corner Pod, all one word, on Instagram. As always, comics is with an X. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
You're good, everybody.